What up, guys? What up, guys? It's your boy UAG back with another video and another promptu episode of the Weekly Retro Show. And we got Rainwater, and we have a guest coming, and it's going to be in a little bit. And let me just give you a disclaimer right here. This is not to hate on the company. This is not to talk about price hiking. This is not to just besmirch anybody. We all are fans of all these retro gaming products. This is what the channel was about because we love this stuff. We celebrate it, and we want everybody to be successful. To be quite honest with you, the more companies that are successful, the better for us as consumers, right? So let's leave that at the door. But what
I mean, we talk about these console wars and stuff, right? And it's always like, oh, this company versus. But you're right. I mean, I don't think any of the companies, whether it's At Games, Arcade1up, iArcade, Unica, every single one of them, I don't get the impression that any of them wants any of the other ones to fail. So we kind of jokingly call it, the wars, but
like I could guarantee you, like Arcade1up doesn't want At Games to fail or iArcade to fail, and vice versa, because again, it brings awareness of that particular product to other people.
Exactly.
Whether it's
they all help each other, really. Yeah.
So
the more people that buy these different cabinets and stuff, the more they want to buy other cabinets, and so they help each other. It's like the gateway into it, right? You buy an Arcade1up, pretty soon you're like, this is cool. I want to buy an MBSX, and I want to buy an iArcade, or what. So they all help each other out by doing that. So it's a win-win when all the companies do well. But what's going on, man? What's this? What's all the hoopla today?
I mean, okay. So the reason why I want to get on this, me and a good friend that's going to be joining the show in a little bit. We were talking, and there's a lot of stuff that's going on, let's say, about the advertisement of Arcade1up advertisement marketing. Personally, I don't see anything wrong with it. I understand what their purpose of doing the advertisement or the marketing is to get to probably a more youth base, to get it known to people who may not be aware that this is actually even a thing. So I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
And is it costing money? Yeah. Do you think that's the reason why the price hikes? No. I think the price hikes is the price hikes. Come on, everything costs more money. Am I happy with the price hikes? No. But you got
nobody's gonna be happy.
And you keep it moving. What I'm not happy about is the lack of communication with Arcade1up. Arcade1up is spoken to nobody, right? And do they have to speak to anybody? No. But do you feel like that you're owed to that? I think we are, because you got to remember the first 2 years of this company, they were very vocal with the community. They were on shows. They did a bunch of stuff to kind of touch base with us. And right. Now, everything went to shit, and now they don't speak to anybody. And that's okay. But what's not okay is kind of like belittling the community that is behind you. Like saying, this is what it is, and deal with it.
And I don't think, I don't know, you haven't really mentioned what this was about, right? But I mean, there's a way to approach things that where you can still hold that same opinion without being a jerk, I'm not saying I disagree necessarily with, how things were, what's their opinions. I just disagree with how it's handled.
So let's not act like we don't know who we're talking about. We all know we're talking about John D. John D is basically the face of the company, right? Right. He's always been there in all of the community, right? So he's been the face, and maybe he built the character of being this bad boy. Maybe that's not even him. Maybe that's Rodman. Just what he's projecting to the community. So I get that. But
supposedly, Scott Baccarat had referred to him as kind of the Dennis Rodman of Arcade1up. He runs and does stuff that makes you go, but then he comes back and delivers, So that's kind of how I heard it. He's described.
So yeah. So I'm sure that he's great at what he does. He probably, brokers some of the relationships that he had, like with Capcom or Sony, whatever he dealings that he has probably brought some titles that we probably wouldn't have gotten if he wasn't there. And I think that's proven with what already happened within the community that he still has a job. Right?
Yeah. Right.
So, he takes a hiatus because everybody was hating on him. And now everybody missed him. He got on Twitter. And all I think is what's happening is that I still don't think he knows how to deal with the community. So
he's just, yeah. He's not the best face of the company. If that makes sense. Not who I would pick.
So Mad Dad,
oh,
I know you're late. I know you're late to the party.
Yeah, but, man. Yeah.
We're talking about the fiasco that continues to happen with Arcade1up. We're not talking about the price hikes. That's old news. We're talking about the interaction with John D in the community. His first, encounter with the line of, we're just ROMs are, drug dealers and all that stuff. We're a bunch of crackheads for ROMs. So, that was the first, bad line that he said. Now he talks about how, so the member of the guests, we all know who it is, Rector, and he'll be here soon. Rector says to him something about, why are we bringing a known rapist, a known person who's made some mistakes in the past? And I think everybody deserves a second chance.
Yeah.
So let me just say that right now. But he has his own views on things, and I respect Rector for having his views. I don't necessarily align with it on terms of the Mike Tyson thing, but I understand where he's coming from. So Rector voices his frustration with John D. John D just is very dismissive about it, saying like, "Listen, he put a post on there that means a lot to the company. Is going to bring us tons of eyes on the product. Blah 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 blah." He says, "But people right now with cancel culture, be careful, y'all could be canceled." And his response to that was F cancel culture. Now,
dang, okay.
This is an executive of a multi-million-dollar company.
Is he still a?
I'm assuming that he is.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, if it was any other company, I think he'd be terminated by now. And what I'm saying right now, listen, guys, I'm not calling for his job. But what I am saying, maybe if I was running Arcade1up, I'd be like, listen, you no longer have a Twitter account. You can no longer talk on Twitter. That's it. Obviously, you don't.
I thought he already learned from the first time. What? I mean, it's all about the attitude too, man. You can't have somebody that has attitude and thinks that just because of a post that you could just, you know what I mean? Like you're just gonna just go off on them. And you get some people just forget. Some people forget they're on, on the Twitter or on social media, and they just go off, And then they realize it after the fact, and they're like, "Oh, Deb, I just messed up again," or something like that. You know.
So Rexer's saying he'll be here soon. So
Yeah.
So I don't, I didn't read the post. I'm just going off what you said, but I don't necessarily disagree with John D's stance. I do kind of think that, and from a political side of things, I think we do have a tendency to, freak out about stupid stuff. I know people that they won't shop at certain places and because they don't agree with it. And I mean, it's like, I agree. Cancel culture is stupid, but
listen, I agree with that too.
on the other end of it is have some respect for people's opinions, right? Don't just be a jerk.
Listen,
yeah, but if you're executive of the whole, like you said, you're executive,
you represent your company now.
Yeah, like
whether he knows he's representing the company at that moment or not, he is. So
he's always as soon as he steps out the door, out his house. Any company will tell you. You step out the door of your house, you're representing us.
So I work for a large company, but I don't work at that company. I work at smaller companies. So I represent my company to those other little companies. So they look at me and they're like, oh, that's the guy from that company. So it's, even though I don't necessarily think of myself, I'm just a little nobody at my company, but to those suppliers, I'm it. I am that company, right? So, it's the same kind of thing there. I mean, when he might think that, well, I'm just a marketing guy, or I'm just a licensing guy, or whatever his title is. But he's the face of the company to a lot of people. You got to remember that,
Let me interject, John. I don't believe rape is stupid stuff. I take that very seriously. I just think that everybody does have. Should have the opportunity for a second chance in life. He paid his dues.
Sure.
And
I mean, you're going to hold that over his head for the rest of his life. I mean, some people will say you should, but
I mean, he got to say that he does. I mean,
he still has a legacy as a boxer.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as good as he wanted it to be, but you could tell. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I don't like Mike Tyson.
I don't like him either. But I don't think. But to me, from what you said, it sounds like Rexer is being stupid when he's going like.
Rexer, listen, I know Rexer. So Rexer was poking the bear. He was like, listen,
yeah, that's what he's doing.
Let him get riled up.
I want to hear what he has to say, because from what you said,
his interaction shouldn't have been that way. No matter how upset you are a representative of the company, the face of the company.
But what was Rexer's actual post? Because if he was just like, why are we putting this convicted rapist? It's like,
no.
To me, I would be like, really, Rexer, come on, man.
Rexer actually came in an educated way. He wasn't just, being disrespectful.
And again, I didn't see it. I haven't read it. I'm just going off what you said, but yeah.
He said eyes on the road.
He said,
like I said, man.
I'm all over the chat, guys. I'm all over the chat. I see every one of your chats.
Let's be honest, Kev Grit. This is not. I can understand if he was selling Barbie dolls and action figures. He's selling arcade units to adults. If you really want to be,
Hey, pull me into the green room for a little bit here. I gotta go. I'll be back.
Yeah, just like they said what was it? I think somebody said like, you'll stop watching I don't know who said it, but it was like stop watching what was it? Man, what was that that movie that Mike Tyson was in?
The Hangover.
Yeah, Hangover. Like somebody said something like that. Would you just stop watching it because it's not gonna make any money because he's in it? It's like certain stuff like that goes on. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna sit here and tell y'all that back in the day, I mean, that's what it was. It was in my time. Mike Tyson was all that, and that's probably what aged me a little bit. But
no, I mean, but we're being you in the same generation,
now,
and we both have a thing. Like when we think of Mike Tyson, we're not.
It's always about punch out.
We're not thinking about that portion of his life. We're thinking about the. Mike Tyson Punch Out, his rise and thing, and
and his knockouts. That's what I mean. I was called that when I was small, man. I went into boxing when I was little because of him, and I was just I was called Little Mike or whatever. You know what I mean? Back then when I was doing it. So I mean, that stuff, all this stuff going on right now, like, yeah, it's just, that's what I look at. I look at all that. I look at just, the stuff back in the day, that what I do and then what he did, like I said, what he did and all that stuff is wrong. And everybody has done probably something in their life today that they just regret big time, but like I said, I look at it from that. I look at him like, okay, when I saw Mike, when I actually saw it, I was like, oh, this is tight. They got Mike, but I wasn't even thinking, you know what I mean? I was thinking like back in the day, like Punch Out times when I was looking at that video, and then like Keenan and all that. There's the people I grew up with when he played Fat Albert and, all the other, you know what I mean? When a Good Burger and stuff like that. I don't know if y'all seen that movie, but Good Burger was good, all that type of stuff, But,
so listen, again, not to belittle the whole thing with the Mike Tyson. That's not my intention. But again, what my biggest concern is the interaction with the community or lack thereof. Like maybe you should have a conversation with us. Maybe, like the Super Game Room dudes were on earlier, and they talked about maybe they should have pulled the advertisement. Like, listen, they spent all that money, so you're not going to pull the advertisement. It is what it is. Get it out there. It's gonna, hit the community. It's probably gonna be more positive than it is negative. It's negative to us, but we're the biggest loyal fans. We're gonna buy the products regardless of if we dislike or like the commercials. And those are gonna bring eyes that maybe never seen the product before. But the interaction that they have with the community about you don't like the commercials. So maybe the answer is be like, I'm sorry you didn't like the commercials. Maybe, we'll look into, doing other kinds of advertisement.
I still want to know who, the commercial. When I looked at it, I was like, you're right. I mean, everybody probably in the chat was like, yeah, they got Mike or whatever. But then the commercial, I was like, when is it going to be like, get me excited to actually, you know what I mean? Like that had
there's a whole generation.
There was nothing that
really
made me
like
even
the Jabberwockies though. So you having them on there, right? That brings some kind of buzz to it. They got millions of followers on Instagram and the different things. So you never know. Even if you get 1% of that millions of people that they have, that's 1% of people that have never seen that product. How many times do you come across a product that you never knew of because of a post or an influencer or anything? It happens. It happens.
Yeah, but this thing, think of if they actually loved us, by the way, and like you said, had Michael B or somebody in the commercial that you kind of, you know what I mean, that actually loves the Arcade1ups and loves everything about them. If they had like the community, like they just went into the community and actually did like a commercial with people in the community playing, like I think, or just, something like that. But yeah, they're trying to get out there and get all these people in the millions of social media. But this stuff nowadays, like social media, yeah, man, it can tear you down in like 2 seconds, man.
So, I think they got to be careful because, you don't want to bite the hand that feeds you. Like we in the community, if we find it like this could be offensive or something like that, that could really, that whole interaction where he went into a hiatus is because of this community. We got offended by what he said, and therefore he disappeared for a long time. And I think this could be the second time.
Man,
look, Todd said it. He's a brand ambassador. Like he is the brand.
Yeah,
he is the brand. Yeah, we know Scott, but Scott is not always, in the forefront anymore. We haven't seen Scott in centuries, but we've seen John D. John D has been there since day one almost.
Shoot, get me on there. I'll sell some Arcade1up.
Yeah. Listen, guys.
You know what I mean?
So I want to know what you guys think. Are you still upset about the actual advertisement? Are you upset about like what I'm upset about. I'm upset about the whole interaction. Like, you can't talk to customers or people of the community like that. I just feel like it's totally disrespectful. And you know, you're acting like you're here and we're down here, and that shouldn't be. That shouldn't be the case.
I mean, do you ever think that? I was wondering about this because, you know, you got, like you said, you got the Arcade1up, and then you got, you know, the people who invested in them, but then you got Tastemakers who's been messing with a couple of people as well. You know, like all the modding scene, like they'll send you like messages, you know, and say, hey, you need to, you know, they'll send you like personal messages.
Like you talking about the,
you know what I mean?
MVS and all that stuff.
Yeah, you know what I mean, like all that stuff. I'm just saying, to me, if they want to get something out, they know that they have to know that we are the ones buying them. You know what I mean? Not like kids or, I mean, I know the grandmas and stuff like that. I know.
Remember what I told you, and I'll say this till I'm blue in the face. We are so minuscule in terms of the whole picture. Like, we're probably like 10%. The other 90%, those are the ones that are buying the cabinets, because we're super fans. We're buying 5 cabinets, 10 cabinets, 15 cabinets. But the ones that just buy the one and you know, they're trying to get those people. And this, like, if they don't get to that next level, in their eyes, they think that it's a failure, that they're not going to make it. You know.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I mean, I didn't know you think that we were like 10%. I figured that's basically how it got big, because everybody was buying them.
We was advertisement for them.
Yeah,
we were free advertisement for them. We're the best kind of advertisement for them. But at the end of the day, now that they've kind of made that, you know, niche in the market, you know, there's going to be the super fans no matter what happens. Like, you know, Michael B. and others, you know, they're gonna buy regardless. Then you have the people that, you know, like me, maybe you. At a certain point, you're like, listen, that the price is just getting too ridiculous. You're just
gonna buy what you want instead of buying, like, and that's what happened. That's what happened to me in the beginning. I was buying cabinets like crazy, but you know, if you look at the prices, they were like $399. Well, was it even $299 sometimes? You know, but just saying. I mean, because, you know, everybody, yes, people were liking the cabinets. I bought them the same way. I was like, I saw the Mortal Kombat cabinet. That was like the first one that I was like, oh, I gotta have that, you know. But then I started getting Final Fight. I got Street Fighter. I got, you know, trying to get that arcade, because I was like, man, I finally can put an arcade in my house, and it won't cost me $24,000 or whatever it is, you know. And then the modding scene came into play. You know how that goes. So
listen, again, we can't say that these prices, the price hikes, have anything to do with these commercials. These commercials were planned long before these price hikes. The price hikes are the price hikes.
Yeah, there's nothing to do about that.
You know, you've seen the article that they brought up, 20, 25,000, 30,000 to ship. The prices are very high. But they are high. I just think that they need to stop trying to bundle stuff in. You know, if it's going to be higher, I'd rather pay higher for what I want and not higher for things that you want to, you know, push down my throat. Don't give me a 10 sign. Don't give me a chair.
No, I think that. You know how it is. Even though, you know, like you said, NBA Jam and all that other stuff had, you know, they had the online play, and it was cheaper. It was like what, $4.99 for that cabinet or whatever. Mm-hmm. But like you said, now, you know, they're doing stuff differently, like, you know, wood and all that, and, you know, all the rest of the stuff that plays in play with this. But now you got online again. Yeah, you got online again. And now it's like, okay, we gotta, you know, we get making these cabinets. We're gonna have to make that money. It's online. Are we gonna be making as much since people are gonna be playing together?
So we got our special guest out of retirement because he's heated. Let's bring him on. Rex,
what is going on?
What's up, Rex? What's up?
How you doing, Mad Dads?
What's up, man?
I'm so glad that this happened because now we can hear one of your epic rants. Because listen, I'm telling the community, I'm not mad about the commercials. To be honest with you, I understand their point of view for the commercial, but their whole lack of communication and the communication that they do have with the community, it's ridiculous. And I kind of gave a synopsis of your interaction.
Yeah. Well,
let's you address it.
Let's start from the beginning, okay? Let's start from the beginning so we get the whole story right here. Now, on Twitter, for some reason, I don't follow John D, but it pops up or something for me to look at every so often. So we go back to all his ridiculous tweets, okay? Not starting with, but one of the most recent was the wood one where I reply, really, John D? I can make a 1-up with one 8x4 sheet of wood and go to Home Depot and get it for $30, and maybe last year it cost $25. So you're going to imply that the cost of arcade 1-ups goes up because of what? So on Twitter, I'm always bad at going back and forth with him, kind of trolling. Okay, I don't care if you call it trolling, whatever. I'm just calling it arguing, with him. So there's other ones too that I think he's wrote that of a ridiculous nature that I just said, John D, you're off your rocker. So today I see the one where he goes, Mike Tyson, thank you so much for your support. So I write back, I go, yeah, I said, Mike Tyson just said, no, John, thank you for the check. And, so I get on about that, oh, thanks for the support. And then he's like, oh, well, we go on for him to say, oh, well, he took a snapshot of him playing an arcade 1-up long ago, and he's a fan of arcade 1-up. And then, we get into these tweets where I go back and I say, in one of the more recent ones, I'm like, yeah, he took a Twitter pic of him, eating Ben & Jerry's ice cream, but it didn't mean Ben & Jerry came running to him and paid him $50,000 to do a commercial. Take the free advertisement from his Twitter and move on. Okay. You don't need to pay him, whatever and these are ridiculous commercials now. They're one after another. So it's getting more expensive as we go. Okay.
I heard ice cream.
Yeah.
I knew you would get that.
How's it going,
What's
man?
up, Rainwater? And I want to stop right here and pause because I did watch a little bit of P-Dubs and Mike B's stream, and I hate to call out Mike B, but you gotta stop drinking the arcade 1-up Kool-Aid. He was saying that. Well, I don't know that these price increases have to do with this marketing or advertising budget. Mike, have you ever been in a budget or planning meeting? They knew that, and then he goes, well, they knew that this was coming for a while. That makes it even more relevant that they're using the money that they needed to raise prices beforehand to pay for their marketing and advertisement budget this year. So yes, it all adds up. It's part of the increased expenditure of arcade 1-ups. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand that the cost of goods sold includes marketing and advertisement expenses. Am I wrong, Rainwater? Can you hear me?
No,
this should even make sense to you, Rainwater, out of all people.
Right. No, I said this yesterday.
He's going to disregard. He's going to do a disregard.
No. Rex is right on this one because when we're sitting here, it did rub me the wrong way. It did. When I see the cost of these cabinets going up, and everyone's complaining about it, and then we have these what looks to be expensive commercials with celebrities in them. That just doesn't that rub you guys the wrong way? Like. They could have saved that advertising money and lowered the prices. I know.
Of course. This is expensive advertising. This is expensive advertising.
And we're paying for that advertising, the people who are buying those cabinets.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does rub me the wrong way.
And when Mike B says, well, I think they already had it planned. And then we'll get on to the transportation costs in a second because, again, P-Dubs, I think you're off on this one, okay? But we'll get into that after. Let me get to the tweets again and back to the cancel culture thing where it all. So now I'm trolling him even more, okay? And let me first say, I don't know, and I put this on one of my YouTube things. I don't know anything about cancel culture. Okay, I don't know. I don't even know basically what it means. I just know it means
Apparently
that,
you're it. So-
right. I just know it means that if people hate the person that's representing the product, they abandon it. Okay, that's just nothing new. Okay, the concept of cancel culture is nothing new. People have been doing it for years. When Tiger Woods smashed his car and these companies got rid of him because they didn't want to be affiliated with people with bad reputations. It's plain and simple. This is not something new. So when people go, oh, cancel culture, I've been doing it for you. I don't back Nike because I don't like the fact that they make 80-cent shoes but charge you $150 for them. Okay,
Well, the point
that's
is it's
cancel
gotten out of
culture.
control.
That's cancel culture.
You
They're
know,
paying Michael
Dr.
Jordan. Doesn't mean I
Seuss
don't
books,
like
really?
Michael Jordan. Doesn't mean I don't like him, but they're paying him hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't like them. I canceled them. I canceled Nike. Yeah. Do I wear Nike once in a while if somebody gets me? Yes. But do I go out and pay $199 for a pair of sneakers? No. Okay. So don't get into the cancel culture bull crap. Okay. It's been going on for years. It's nothing
been going on for years. But does that mean that all of a sudden now we have to say we can't read Dr. Seuss books? I don't want to sell Dr. Seuss books in my store because I'm gonna get hate from people. I think that's what people are talking about when they're talking about cancel culture. It's when these people are taking it to the next level. Like,
right, I agree.
Ridiculous.
I agree with that.
Right?
Yeah, they're over the top. So that's where I start trolling him. I want to see what kind of response.
So you purposefully went over the top.
There's no question because I really could care less
Okay.
about it. So now I say, just because I want to see what his response will be to a question of, hey, you got Keenan Thompson now, great representative, okay? But did you think about Mike Tyson and his past history that there may be some impact before you sign up a guy who has a criminal history, and all this stuff? Not that he's loved here in Vegas, okay? And I don't have a problem with him. Do I agree? I think Mad Dad's I agree with Mad. Do I agree with what happened in the past? No. Would I shake his hand and ask him for his autograph No. Yeah. Okay? And it's,
I'd be afraid he'd bite my ear off or something.
Yeah. Well, so, and it's weird, you can talk about many people, right? So Mike Tyson's okay, but when is it okay for Mike Vick to come back and do some commercials? Okay. Doesn't make any sense to me. Okay. So, what one thing, other thing, who's good, who's bad, I don't care. That's your choice. It's your choice to make who you want to back and who is it okay to represent your product. And I think somebody said, Mike's Hard Lemonade, does Mike Tyson. I'm sure they had meetings where they said, okay, before they signed him up. Do we have to worry about any backlash here? And that's what I was trying to get out of him. Is he going to say something, odd? And then he just comes back with, F cancel culture. Okay, I don't know. Everybody thinks that, I guess, anyway. But
again, this is an executive of a multi-million.
That was my point.
Yeah.
This is an I expect him to come back with, well, we really think Mike is a great person, a great representative for the company, and that's a good response. Not F cancel culture.
When I read
was he drinking, man, or what's going on?
I don't know. He's probably smoking for sure. That's
all I would say is
are we all going to eat crow when they come out with a punch-out cabinet next week?
That's not happening, brother. I'm willing to bet my life that that's not happening. But
it's not going to happen. But that would set us all up, wouldn't it?
It definitely would. It definitely would. But when I saw that, I was like, most companies would probably let this individual go for the first encounter. But now this one, I would just say, if I was Arcade1up, I'd be like, listen, you have no Twitter. You have no Twitter. I want you in the basement.
I would have been gone already.
I want you in the basement where nobody can ever
Let it
see
be
you
me
again.
saying that.
Put up video rehashes. Put up video rehashes comment. That's hilarious because it's true. What he's saying is true. There's also domestic violence as well, so But, it's just he started making cameos and he came back and he's done great things. So he served his time. He moved on. Whatever. You like him, you don't like him. Who cares? That wasn't the point of the whole concept of cancel culture. But anyway, that's how it all went down. Everyone, okay? That's how it all went down.
So,
That's what I'm saying.
Glad to hear that you were kind of just
somebody's going to say something.
poking the bear a little bit.
100%.
Because I'm like, really?
Yeah. But again,
you should have learned something from the beginning.
You
should learn this is what's happening
with his comments. He came at it, He came at it, very respectable.
And it was almost
his interaction that I was taken back by.
My tweet was almost like a warning to him. It wasn't like I'm calling the cancel culture people. I said beware of cancel culture. That's what that's how I ended the tweet.
Be totally just poking at him, but there are people out there that are gonna be like, no, I'm boycotting. Right. There's people that really do think that way, right?
I guarantee there are ladies out there who still don't like Mike Tyson. When they go to if they go to Walmart and see an Arcade1up and they saw that commercial, they don't forget. People of our age don't forget that stuff, and they might say, I'm not supporting that business.
What's the girl from Who's the Boss that Michael B's infatuated with?
Melissa Milano?
Melissa Milano. She's probably calling Michael B right now saying, you need to sell all your cabinets, Michael.
Yeah.
That's probably what she's doing. I was just saying. And he will. He will.
Well, I thought that was in his first one, though. Remember, he said that it was another girl that was his first.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
His wife said it was another lady that he has.
Scarlett Johansson, right?
Something like that. Yeah,
that's my girl.
That's yours.
Listen.
So look at, what Dylan said is right. Just act like a professional.
Yeah.
Please, just do it.
You don't have to agree. You just be professional about it. Yeah. When you're representing the company, you can't.
Once you step your foot out the door, and any I can't go on to Twitter and talk bad about someone and not expect Spectrum to say, listen, what are you doing?
You do that just by going out representing, just like my company, representing the company, just how you dress. It's about everything about you and how you dress, how you look, how you talk. And
I'm surprised he's gone 8 months without putting his foot in his mouth. That's pretty good for him.
Well, it took me trolling him to do it. A little bit. It really did. And he should be used to that. He should know better. He should know better to open.
Yeah, when he said that, I was like, no, he did. I said, you serious? Rexer made him say that? Are you serious?
But here's the other thing. But then he goes on and says, no, in one tweet.
What was that?
What the hell is that? You sound like.
Look at the freeze. Did you get the screenshot?
Sounds like the guy in Star Wars. He sounds like the guy in Star Wars, Attack of the Clones, where he turns his knob when he's talking. Greek clan agrees with you. Only Star Wars fans know that.
Yes.
Oh, now he's mooning us. Okay, now.
Okay.
So let me get back. So he in one tweet he goes on to say, whatever, I don't know. And then he goes and says, nobody understands the business model of Arcade1up and this and that. And we align with our fans, to give you the best product or something in some crazy tweet. And then I wrote back and I said, basically, I know your business model. It's to make cheap 3/5 arcade scale arcade cabinets. And I purposely said 3/5 and not 3/4 because 3/5 is a smaller number. Okay.
Hold on.
So I purposely said 3/5 scale cheap ass arcades and get the most gross profit you can out of each unit. And that's how I responded to his nobody knows our business model. We know your business model, John. There's nothing secret about it. There's nothing so strategic that nobody can figure out, okay? And let me say this before I leave this show. I'm going to say this now. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, okay? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, okay? But I don't want to forget. This is off the subject. The first person that gets their big blue, and they stand that freaking grandfather clock arcade looking style arcade up. If you get on and say this thing looks awesome and it's great, I'm going to come over and smash it. I'm going to take it and I'm going to smash it and say, this looks like the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's the tallest, thinnest, dumbest arcade I've ever seen. Okay? That's my rant.
All right, fine.
I'm reserving my opinion on that until I see
And I know all you guys bought them. I know you got one. Everybody got one. Terrific.
I'm debating because I really do like the actual game lineup.
Yeah, but game lineup's great.
We all know that it's ugly. We all know that.
You don't. Everybody said, "Oh, this big blue is awesome. Look at these graphics on the front."
Hold on now. I never said that. I said if you look at my, I always said that. I said the games. That's the main thing. I was like, okay, the games are tight. I can play with other people. That was my whole setup. Like I was like, if I get it, it's gonna be because of that. Like I get to play with people that's it. I didn't never said like the cat. You know how it is. Like most people say the cabinet's good and it's beautiful. And
Yeah.
I was like, nope, I never said that. I said I'm gonna just play with some other people. Hopefully y'all get it. You know.
Can we expect a second poem? That's what I really want.
No second poems. No,
come on.
That was a one-time deal. It took me a little bit to come up with that. You know,
This is. You got the time now.
This is the stuff. Yeah, right. I got another. I got some things I want to talk about that I might do a stream myself on. So I need YouTube as an outlet, right? That's why I might come back.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
So anyway. I don't know. That's
so you're telling me I can't say it's beautiful and then have a smile at the end? My smile. You hear me? And have my smile and be like, have your little thing up.
Listen, don't do that.
You know?
Don't
I won't do that.
I said from the beginning that I reserve my opinion on what this thing looks like until I see somebody.
We've seen the
put it
renders,
next
and
to
we've seen that
another.
thing. It's not going to look good.
We've seen the renders, but I want to see it next to a real one, next to a real arcade one, another Arcade1up, and see how they look next to each other. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, it might not be so bad, but maybe it will. Maybe it's gonna be horrible.
It's bad.
It's bad.
Period. And we might start a new trend here with the 3/5 scale for Arcade1up. Everybody else is 3/4 scale arcade. Group, but Arcade1up is the 3/5 scale.
So the marquee is going to be a photo booth, right?
Yeah.
So with the big blue, would it finally get up to the
supposed to be like a 4/5
yeah,
scale?
with the big blue, it'll be 3/4. So just because it's so tall, but other than that, all right. Let me get. I got to go play some Donkey Kong, but I got one more thing we got to talk about.
He's gotta go. He's got an appointment for Donkey Kong, guys. Every day.
I can't talk to you guys all day, man. It'll drive me crazy. Okay, so watching P-Dub stream, we all talk about the increased costs. I'll go back to the cost thing, okay?
Yeah.
We talk about transportation, okay? And I understand the cost of transportation is going up for everything, okay? Not disagreeing, okay? Not disagreeing about that. But P-Dub's posted a random article, okay, about freight shipping and freight containers and cost of freight. Okay. I do it for a living. Okay. I've done it for a living. Okay. Right now I don't do too much international shipping. Okay. But I know a lot about it. Okay. And I even sent you, I think, a link of a freight forwarder's site who estimates their shipping costs for a container from China. Okay. And first thing you have to know about freight shipping and shipping of containers is there's tons of different sizes, types, what type of material are you shipping? There's so many variables associated with shipping freight containers. What port is it coming from? What port is it going to? What channel is it going to go to? Which way are you going to ship it? Okay. There's tons of variables. So to say that a container is $5,000 now costs $20,000 to ship is incorrect. Okay. That's not true. Okay. Now, if you get some specialized container with padding inside and a cooling system and all this stuff, then yeah, your cost of your container is going to go up. Okay, so there's many different types. Is it 40-footer? Is it a 20-footer? How is it going? Okay, now if you're at 5,000 now, let's say it's normally it was 4,000, 5,000 to ship a container. Okay, today, if it's a dry 40-foot container and that's it, and you're shipping it from a port in China with no issues to the port of LA, okay, then you're probably, maybe it's doubled in cost. Maybe it's 10,000, okay? That's a rough estimate. That's a big price increase. But remember this, it's price per unit that matters. If I have a 40-foot container and I can shove 300 one-ups on there, which is probably pretty easy if I don't use pallets and I stack them and I fill that container to the limit. What's the cost per unit of the increase of shipping for it to cost me $5,000 more when it originally cost me $5,000? Now it costs me $10,000. It's $15 per unit. That's what it is. Okay, so keep that in mind when we say, "Oh my God, the cost went from 5,000." It didn't go from 5,000 to 25,000. That's not you can't blanket say that. Okay, there's a lot of variables that you have to take into consideration. Okay,
maybe a ship got stuck in the Suez Canal again.
Yeah.
So
that's why I said they got that insurance money, right?
also, Arcade1up can also do this. Probably take a little less, cut into your profit, and not try to pass the buck to the consumer. Because
they passed all the buck and more to the consumer, though. That's what I'm trying to say. They've passed it all and more. Okay, which I don't mind.
What about the microchip shortage? Isn't that factor in at all? I mean, that's what's stalling the Amico.
What does that have to do with shipping, though? It doesn't have to do anything.
Not those cheap, PCB boards.
P-Dubs was right when he said, "I expect the prices to go up $50 to $100, maybe per year. 1 to 2 years." That's what we should have expected. Not a $299, $499, $699 within 2 years. I mean, that's.
You think my class of '81 is going to be $1,000?
If it is, we need to riot.
Didn't you pay for it already? They don't ship them for free. Oh, here we go back.
I don't think he even ordered. And just stop living in the boondocks there, buddy.
Yeah, Rainwater, do this every time you talk. The clan agrees, brother, with Count Dooku. No Star Wars fans here.
I live in the mountains.
That was delayed, Victor.
I understand, P-Dubs. I'm just saying there's many more variables, okay? And I don't think Forbes is the experts per se on shipping containers. The guy who said he's worked in there for 20 years or whatever would know more, that there's so many variables. There's so many ports. There's so many different freight forwarding companies. There's a lot of competition. It has increased. I get that. I read an article not too long ago, 2 months ago. It said a $4,000 container went to $10,000, and I read that article. But then I just went on a site today, one of the freight forwarder site, and I showed it to UAG. They estimate their 40-foot container. I think it was $5,500. Now that might not include your customs fees and your I-13 charges and all, some of your pickups and your freight. But anyway, that's there's just so many more costs involved.
There's more variables that we're not accounting for. So, I mean, that's rightfully so.
You can't make a blanket statement and say it went from 5,000 to 25. No, that's not how it works.
So, we can say this, that we think that it's a little bit much. And we also probably, I mean, maybe it's just me, but all those bells and whistles that you want to add, like, don't give us, we don't need a light up deck protector. We don't need stools. We don't need, just give us a base model and tell us, listen, the price went up $50, $75, $100. That's more palatable, but this is, I think it's a little unfair. So Rex, what other than Donkey Kong, what's in your future?
More, Donkey Kong Jr. after Donkey Kong, to tell you the truth. So that's or beating you guys in Street Fighter V again for the 10th time.
Listen,
we can do that again. Or Matt, why don't you bring up the FX3 leaderboards? Why don't we take a look at that?
Listen, we don't want to talk about
bring
that.
it up. What?
He's
bring it up.
Right?
The fans want to see. The fans want to see the FX3 leaderboard scores. This is big. This pinball is big. This pinball is big stuff. These competitions, we're trying to get people in it. Don't you want to bring it up and show them and promote? You want to promote the FX3, the MCAP UAG pinball tourneys? You want to promote it? Put it up on the screen.
I like how you're bringing this up right now.
Yeah, I see that.
See, you know he did.
But you said Street Fighter V. I know I haven't even played you yet. So just saying. You know what I mean? I'm gonna try.
I'm ready when anybody else is.
Yeah,
so I heard you guys on your last stream were gonna do another one, whether it was 30th anniversary or something. You guys were gonna try again or something. But
we did it again. We did it for like how long? We had to switch because he got beat down.
Oh, you're such
so
a
that's
hater,
when he
bro.
went to Street Fighter V and was like, "All right, I got to go back on there. I got to go back."
You're such a hater. It's ridiculous.
I'm just saying trueness, man. You know what I mean? See, I can play regular Street Fighter, but that sometimes the Street Fighter 5, man, I tell you, sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. What happened to Rainwater? He's frozen again. Kick him off the stream.
I told him, I said, listen, bro, just get out of here, broski.
Where is he driving? I mean,
he's in
You
Alaska.
still bringing it up? Oh.
Back from work? I mean, you asked me what I'm doing. I would play more pinball, but I just don't have a reason to do it right now. And if you brought up the leaderboards, you would see why.
Bro.
You would see why if you brought up the leaderboards.
Then improve the score. That's what you could do.
Prove it. I'll flip the damn thing if I have to improve it. What are you talking about? I'm waiting for you guys to end this tournament and bring on a new table. What?
Oh, I mean, look that far behind.
Look, hey, Antisocial made a bid at it, but I'm sorry, Andy. So you still fell short, buddy. You still fell 100 million short. Look at him.
Man.
Come at me, Antisocial. Come at me, bro.
Kong said he's gonna get you. I don't see that's a big.
That's Kong. You can't even get 500,000, Kong. How are you gonna get $1 billion? You got to get $1 billion. I do. I have the Game Genie. Who said I had the game? I have the FX3 Game Genie.
Now we're down to 21.
Gives you more balls.
Now I gotta play again. Dang it.
Gives you more balls.
How many
I just get one
here?
score and I'm out. I normally when I see if I'm up there, I'm
come
like,
on, guys.
right.
If you're not there, come in and
go in and
try to get the Rexer.
Try and get me. I mean,
Rex
feel bad.
The target on his back.
We won. I won the Whitewater one. You see my nice Whitewater? That's Whitewater in the background. If nobody knew, you can see that. I won that one. Where's the competition? So let's get some people in there that know how to play pinball.
Meatball said he's good with third place. Meatball, I think you could get him though. I think you could get him. Come on, man.
You don't. Here's the problem.
Okay. I'm gonna have to try to do some here.
Here's the problem. Sometimes it's almost like you have when you get to that high score. It's like you have one shot because it's so hard to get back there. Yes. It's like getting back to the Stanley Cup. It's so hard to get back to where you're close to that high score. That's why, like, when you get that one chance, you got to make the most of it, and you got to make because getting back, like it'd take me forever to get back to 900 and something.
So how many multi-balls did we get? How many extra balls did we get?
I probably had about 3 extra balls easily.
Man.
Yeah. You kept they kept lighting up the wheel and it shoot the wheel with the lit extra ball. Not too many multi-ball jackpots. Maybe 2 or 3. Maybe 2 or 3. I still couldn't understand for the people that play Road Rash. So after you hit the first jackpot, the ball comes down and you have to hit that left flipper. Mm-hmm. And I think you're supposed to shoot it in Red's mouth. Is that her name? Red or whatever, the lady?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what you get if you do that. I could never do it.
I hit it once, but I think it was I think it was like
right.
20 million.
20 million. That's not when the jackpot's rolling though.
Oh, okay.
I hit it once too when the jackpot wasn't rolling, I think. And you're supposed to do them in succession. You're supposed to go into the first jackpot, the bulldozer, and then boom, and then hit it. I think. I don't know. I can't.
So
you got 2 extra balls.
Question for you: When you hit that the outer ramp on your left hand side, right, where you would that, and you get into that, it picks some kind of selection like cowboy hat, whatever. Yeah. Whatever you pick, it's an expense.
Yeah. So
right?
So when you buy that later in the game, there's like a target you hit or an option where you got to do something to sell it back for more.
Okay.
So now it's happened to me. I buy them. They're not that expensive, so I just buy them, and then like I don't know when I hit that thing or when it comes up, but then you'll see like, oh, sold your sunglasses or whatever for something like that. You like give them back or so, I don't know.
Yeah, because
it ends this Saturday.
P-Dubs, get in it, P-Dubs.
P-Dubs, get in it and represent for the Super Game Room dudes. I think Michael B was in it, but I think he's getting demolished.
I feel like I gotta call Wolfenose and say, hey man, it's time to come back. I need some competition here.
Oh, listen, Wolfenose, he's like on another level. First of all, Wolfenose
I don't want him back.
Wolfenose scared off like highway and I every now and then we see people's bob, but he scared them off. So called out a couple of suspect scores too.
Yeah.
I'm just now getting into this. I really haven't played. Like I play it like I used to play it on my computer, but now since I got the pinball machine, now I'm playing it a little bit more. But once I hit that score, man, like I hit my little score, it said, look, at one time it said number 1. I was like, yeah, and
that was
and
a long time ago.
It was like in the
Many
beginning.
moves.
I was like, yeah, and then next thing you know, that's it. I just found out like I'm 21 now, which is ridiculous, man. Because I haven't played. I was like, okay, I'm 4th. Okay, I'm 6th. I'm okay. That's okay. I'm all right.
We're just gonna have
but now I gotta
little
play again,
session with the rector showing us the ins and outs. Maybe we can learn something.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I don't know every table, and I got to be reminded when I play some of these tables again. So what I do is I play the game for maybe 10 games. I'll play, right, and I'll just shoot around, dilly-dally around. Then I'll stop, and I'm going to give away some of my secrets, not all of them, and I'll read the table guide. Read the table guides. I hate this. I know nobody likes reading, but if you want to get good and understand, you have to read the table guide and figure out how to play them. Okay? That's the only way if you want to get these huge jackpots and you want to understand how to get them. Okay? I mean, you can still just play, and eventually you'll learn. But you'll learn faster once you understand what targets they're talking about on the DMD screen. You have to know.
Retro, if you was in the wild though, there's no table guide when you go to when you're in the arcade, right?
No, not in the arcade, right? So when I go if I go to Pinball Hall of Fame after playing so much virtual pinball, I'm awful. I can't I don't remember anything. I don't remember the strategies. I got to sit there and read the DMD the whole time, and it's totally different physics. Like I can't control the ball like I do in virtual pinball. It's so much easier to kind of control it on your flippers per se. It just there's just a different feel on a real pinball.
It doesn't have that ricochet.
It's just weird. It's like I don't know. So I'm terrible. I went the last time I went. I was like, God, I can't.
That girl handed to you. She was nasty.
Yeah.
So, man, Rexer, bro. I think we wanted you to come on here. We wanted you to air your grievances.
I needed to,
and here there's always an outlet for you. We appreciate you.
And so Brad's talking about Brad. I was going to give more tips on Kong's stream, but I didn't have time. I had to leave that stream. But maybe another day I'll do a stream where I do some more tips. Maybe I'll show some of my DK play. And show some tips on there on how you gotta
show me. You gotta show me because I barely get to level 3. That's 1.
Yeah,
I barely get to level 3, and let alone the whole purpose of the hammer thing, right? Like, do you really want to use the hammer, or are you trying to get up there as fast as you can without wasting any lives?
There's a lot of different strategy as to whether you double hammer or whether you just pass the first hammer. You always take the second hammer, the one up in the corner, and there's a reason for that. But mainly it's because on that left edge, when you get to the level 4 and 5 higher, on the left edge where the hammers, that's a safe zone. You got to know where your safe zones are on the barrel board. Okay. So you got to know where those safe zones are on certain levels. But it's funny you talk about level 3 because every time I talk about people, they're always like, I'm on level 3. I'm on level 3. That's as high as I can get. The barrel board on level 3 is actually the hardest one in the game. And it doesn't sound like it would be, but it actually is because the logic on level 3, the wild barrels and the random barrels, there's no logic to them. Okay. As you start to get to level 4 and 5, actually level 5, the types of random barrels and wild barrels that he throws, you can understand them more and you can kind of know where they're going a little bit more. So whenever people say level 3, I don't want to tell them like it's the hardest one. You got to get through level 3 and then 4 is difficult too. And then after 5, it actually, when you talk about expert play, when you're at level 5 and on, it gets easier. Doesn't mean it gets easier, like, but it gets more consistent, let's say. It gets more consistent after level 5. So get to level 5. Once you break level 5, man, you can rally up a score just by practicing and getting more. But then once you get to level 4, you got to get past the springboard, and that's a whole nother animal. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, me
Guess I'll
and
stick
you,
with
Matt,
Mortal
that we're
Kombat.
never gonna see that.
You hear me?
You
I'll stick with Mortal Kombat and Killer Instinct.
Hey, well, Mortal Kombat, we can play that as long as it's 2 and 3, or 1. I'm good with that. But these new ones, I can't. I'd get my butt kicked on these new ones.
Let's not talk about the new ones because I thought I was decent. Then this first of all, he has some kind of cheat code or something like that.
You always
Mad Dad's killed you. Did you kill him, Mad Dads? You beat him up?
He did murk me
Nice.
on that.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
I said, let's try Killer Instinct. He said, nah.
What's it about Street Fighter 5?
He's like, nah. But Street Fighter 5,
Dude, Mad Dads plays a whole bunch of stuff. I always see him streaming. I pop in there just to see him streaming, all kinds of modern games. I'm like, holy smokes, man! Your repertoire is vast. Like it's retro, it's modern. Like, I don't have many modern games that I'm playing, but
yeah, it's. I'm just trying to throw stuff like Mad Dad's game. I play everything. I try to play as much as I can. Like I was even thinking about doing the Switch Zelda. So I mean, even that stuff is probably going to be put on there. So I mean, I'm gonna do all that stuff. And that way, you don't have to worry about that. I'll show you. I'll show you all that stuff, and play it, and just bringing new stuff. I was gonna do like I told him the other day. I actually downloaded Qbert Rebooted and Qbert, so I was gonna just do a little Qbert stream, even though I suck at the game.
Yeah, I'm not good at it either.
Mad Dad said that Crazy Kong was actually better than Donkey Kong. You remember telling me that?
No.
Who said Crazy Kong was better?
I don't remember.
Mad Dad said that.
Crazy Kong is actually the exact same thing as Donkey Kong with just different sprites and colors.
That's
it really
good,
is.
Man. I'll see what you're doing there. That was pretty good, man. That was pretty good.
It's very close to the same thing.
I like how you did that. I don't even know what you're talking about. That's how sad it is. You know what I mean? Like Crazy Kong, I'm thinking something else. I was like, what Kongs? What's going on?
Crazy Kong was a ripoff of Donkey Kong that they could only sell in Japan or something like that, and then they gave their license. Like Nintendo said, go ahead and make this Crazy Kong, but you could only sell it in Japan. The reason I can't remember the reason they did it. It was because it was so popular that they couldn't make enough units, so they told this other company to make Crazy Kong, and they just did it weird, like colors and I don't know. It was just weird. I don't know the whole story. It'd be a good video to look up, like the story of Crazy. And there was a Crazy Kong 2 as well.
Crazy Kongs be more rare to
That's a good question. That's a good. I would think maybe they would be, but just people don't want them, so they're not valued,
Interesting.
So nobody's caring about the Crazy Kong. Who's got the Crazy Kong record? Nobody cares about who's got Crazy Kong 2 world record. I'm sure there people are out there, but I see people playing Crazy Kong on Twitch a lot. Crazy Kong 2 was actually, I don't know if they threw more barrels and there was gaps in the girders. They did some weird things on Crazy Kong 2, but I don't know. People in the chat would probably know more. But
so you again expert in your field, but do you think that there's what path would it take for Arcade1up to actually get a Nintendo license? What do you think would have to happen? The perfect storm.
Yeah, I don't know if there is one, really. I don't know if there is a path besides selling their soul and everything they have to give to Nintendo to say we'll make them, and Nintendo's going to ask for 60% of what they sell these things for, so it would have to be some crazy type of offer, which I don't think they could do it, eat that cost and do it. But money talks. I've always said money talks, and I will say to this day, never say never. I know people say Nintendo will never release that IP, that all they, once they get in the door with maybe something goofy, who knows, not like a Popeye or a Mario Brothers, but I don't know, one of their other games that lesser known, if they could get one of them and getting their foot in the door. But yeah, Brad says it'll never happen. I never say never, because one day when Nintendo doesn't have any revenue coming in or needs those execs aren't getting their bonuses, and here comes one-up saying, here, we'll pay you 10 million flat, just to get your IP, and then you'll get 20% of the is 10 million enough for them? Probably not. But Nintendo would balk it and be like, that's peanuts, who knows?
And that cabinet would have to be expensive to
just to pay for
recoup those
licensing.
losses.
Yeah.
Like wow,
Yeah.
wow. I don't know. So maybe it never will happen, or maybe Nintendo will just say one day, you know what, we'll do it. We'll do it ourselves.
They can't even release the cabinets they have showed us already. So
yeah, right. So Brad O'Connell says something. We talked about the whole Tyson thing already, but we didn't really talk about the commercial. And I like what P-Dub said, where he said they didn't even show us any of the cabinet or really him playing on it. They showed like these weird angles and him. They really didn't. Like when they're rolling them in, they show like a piece of the cabinet. Why? I don't know. Maybe they don't want people to see like the scale of it is not that big or something. I don't know. It was a.
You know what's funny though? Like I thought their whole angle was going to be about possibly talking about online connectivity, because you're bringing all these cabinets to these individuals, and now they're playing and basically talking to one another like they're in the same room. Like you don't have that functionality right now. You're possibly going to have that in future cabinets, but you would only do that with online capable games. So I really thought that's what they were hinting at, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I did too, because I mean they brung in the NBA jams. You saw that. It was 2 of them.
Yeah.
So I figured, I was like, all right. So and then I saw the other ones, So
look what Shoe Shine said. Okay, because he'd break it in 2 seconds. Now that is funny you said that, because one of the tweets I said to Mr. John D was, you had to pick Tyson as the athlete because he's the only one short enough where you can show him playing it and he can still play it. So so I'm trolling him even. So just so you guys, it was
definitely gonna have been an NBA player.
It wasn't gonna be an NBA player
unless you had like tiny, like little Nate. Oh no, man. Again, it is what it is. I wasn't upset with the commercials. I thought they were, what they are. They serve their purpose, but at the same time, I just really didn't like the interactions that they were having. Show the Street Fighter they bought.
That's funny what Kevgrat says. Can't even buy that one now. What do you mean? That was like Generation 1 Street Fighter they showed. Oh, it's hilarious.
That's the ones they got for free, right?
Steph Curry still is like 6'3", isn't he? He's still like 6'2", 6'3".
He's short for NBA,
he's
but
short.
He's
like
tall.
6'1", 6'2".
Listen, but probably like you said, I don't think that it will happen with the Nintendo. But I could, if they fall on hard times, maybe they'll make their own.
You never know. I mean, why not when somebody comes to you and says, here's a bunch of money? You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is, I don't know. That's why I never say never, because you never know when management changes and a new direction comes. It could be 5 years, I don't know. Hopefully in 10 years, God, all those one-ups are in the dumpsters like ETs.
You do have to say one thing about Arcade1up. It did bring, I think, relevance to a hobby
to
that
the
was
gaming.
basically dying.
It
brought a lot of people that didn't play arcades, that haven't played it, or just let go of the hobby, are back into it, and they bought tons of them, and they were like, listen, now I want to do bigger and better things.
Yeah.
Just like, I wasn't really into pinball. I got a virtual pinball. I want to go to the Pinball Hall of Fame. I'm thinking about, people are buying real pinball tables now.
Yeah, me personally, I played it on all the arcade games. I was just waiting for them to come out on Super Nintendo and Sega and all those games, because I couldn't afford anything in my house. It was just that, I was a little kid just waiting to get for the release, like when Mortal Kombat first came out. And then I played it on Sega, and then I played it on Super Nintendo, and I was pissed because there was no sound, which pissed me off really, really bad. But then they came out with it later down the road, Sega 32X, and all that stuff.
It kept getting a little better. I was disappointed too on the Super Nintendo, say, when you start playing those fighting games, because you're like, oh, this isn't like arcade, really. Yeah. It's not like the main comes out.
When I saw that first one
with the Mortal Kombat on Street Fighter, I was so upset when I got Mortal Kombat on the Super Nintendo, and freaking Kano pulls out air. In his hand.
The gray heart or whatever it was.
Hilarious.
The gray heart. Oh my God! Like I was happy though, like with the Super Nintendo. I know this is off subject, but I was happy because it had the sound.
Yeah,
You know, Sega didn't have any sound.
It looked better graphically as well.
It played okay. I didn't mind the way. I mean, it didn't play horribly, you know, but there's just nothing that compared to arcade, the way MAME, you know, and MAME really wasn't big at that time. So, you know, I don't even know if it was ready when it didn't even. So
I'm gonna have to look at some of your videos for the tutorials on try to Fightcade and all those other ways to play online some of those retro games, because at this point that's probably gonna be my next.
You go on Fightcade, man, you'll get your ass kicked. Those guys.
Well, I'm not playing anybody other than maybe Mad Dads. Like,
don't play. But I play on Fightcade, especially Mortal Kombat 2. So I was whooping. Somebody said they wanted. I'm just telling you. It's over with on Mortal Kombat, man. So whoever wants to challenge, you know how I am about challenges. Not on pinball.
We know it's not on pinball.
I'm getting over there. I'm getting over there. I'm doing some stuff. But any console or anything else, I'm ready. I'm right there, man. I'm right there.
All right, guys. We went long.
Appreciate you, Rex.
Thank you, Rexer, for
having me.
By. We'll have you again, hopefully in the future.
I might stream Sunday just for the people watching. There's a chance. I have a lot of stuff on the list.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Okay.
Well, yeah. Like I said before, I wasn't going to stream till next year. One of the reasons, but there's too much stuff coming out. But one of the reasons was, like I said on B Kong stream, is because I told myself I'm not streaming until I get the kill screen on Donkey Kong. I even got closer than when I'm at 806,000 now, 809,500 now. So my high score increased a little more, and I was one level away. I was on level 20. So now that I'm just so close, I know I can do it. So, I figure maybe I just come on and do a stream just to,
we'll be there. We'll be there with bated breath.
All right, man. All right. Hopefully I can do it.
All right, guys. Thank you for stopping by. And as always,
Street Fighter 5. What's up? Peace.